what good is this chanting? I don't even know what I'm reading. Girl,
yeah.
What have you been doing?
Like, this would have been the time you should have been studying however long it's been.
Exactly.
Like, what's in the grimory? You can't just expect it to flip open to the perfect page every time.
Yeah, that only happens every once in a while. Like, please. Hi everyone, welcome back to Off to Broadway, the podcast where we deep dive into anything and everything musical theater. I'm Tara.
I'm Stefania.
And in today's episode, it's been 1 year since we've talked about Wicked, the movie. And we are now back to talk about Wicked for Good.
For good.
Let's first preface this by saying we saw the movie two days ago.
2 days ago.
On time of episode record. So our opinions and everything is based on our first viewing first viewing only.
Off the cuff. Yeah, I do feel like that's actually important to say because we talked about when we walked out of part one, we were kind of shell-shocked in a way. It's hard to process after our first viewing. And so I don't even remember what we said on our original episode, but I don't necessarily know if our views have like changed, but I think we feel a lot more fondly towards Wicked Part 1 than we did at that time. And so I don't know if we'll have like such a journey with Wicked for Good, but I think we might have like a small journey with Wicked for Good. Like, I do want to see it again because like the first time, something you've been anticipating for 20 years, it's hard to just even, like, your mind is going a million miles a minute. You're like, they made this choice. They did this. Why does this look like this? What is this? How is this happening? And so I don't know if
it's a lot of what is this. There was a lot of what is this. No, I agree. And something that you said, like, a couple hours ago when we were talking, is that, like, we think, again, correct us, someone's probably listened to us talk about Wicked Part 1. You know what? Go back and listen to that and then come to this and tell us what we said. But
we didn't,
said...
but you do.
Exactly. But you said that, like, at the time, we probably said, like, this is the best version of, like, what we were going to get from a Wicked movie. I don't know that I could say that about this movie specifically, but I just, like... Here's the thing. This is going to be a very, like, disjointed episode, just as the movie was incredibly disjointed, because it's really hard, as you said, to, like, process something that you've been a fan of for, like, 20 years and, like, put those pieces together. There are, like, many ways to start this off. I don't even think I can ask you what you thought about this right off the top here, because I actually don't think that's a real question, based on our first viewing 2 days ago. We've also kind of, like, I've talked about this off the mic, but, like, this kind of, like, crept up on us. There was a lot less of a push, it felt, in my opinion, like, online. I know you, even in the first movie, when it came out, like, you've been trying to stay away from, like, all trailers.
I never watched a trailer for Good.
Exactly. So, like...
When I saw the, like, release party of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift album release in theaters, they started to play the trailer, and I covered my ears and looked down and just...
Yeah. And I do think that, like, this movie, as I think all movies that come out now, like, does fall victim to like so much is released in that trailer. So I think
that's why I heard someone say that they're like, oh, they released stuff from pivotal scenes close to the end.
I watched
like, I have no idea. I never saw them. I never saw a single thing.
Yeah, like that, like the first trailer that dropped, like, one of the things that they show is the, like, you were my only friend. Oh, I've had so many. That is the, like, almost final scene of this movie, which is crazy. Yes. I know it's, like, a very pivotal moment in the musical. 100%. I just think that, like, yeah, we're gonna have, well, or I don't know about Will, but I'm gonna have a hard time here just, like, actually talking about what I thought, because at the moment, all I can just say is, like, what was that movie? Like, there were moments when we just, so like, looked at each other and laughed because we were like, what is happening now?
So many questions. Yeah, I think this comes down to the fact that Wicked as a property, Wicked as a musical, I think many people would say that Act 1 is significantly stronger than Act 2. And so choosing to adapt them in a Part 1, Part 2, two separate movies inevitably means that, you know, watching just Act 2 as its own piece is kind of a crazy thing to do.
And I said the other day at the theater, like, if you were to throw me into, like, the musical right now, and at the end of Act 2, if you were to tell me that you're going to make a standalone movie based on that, I would literally say, why? Why would you do that? Like, it's just a crime to do that. But we've done that, and now we have to talk about it.
Yes, now that is our Wicked, that is like the second half of the full Wicked experience. I will say, I think there's been like a lot of back and forth on, is it correct to do 2 movies or should it have been 1 movie? And I stand by 2 movies was the correct choice. And I think my main reasoning for that is you now have Wicked Part 1 as a standalone movie that ends with Defying Gravity. Like, I think Wicked Part 1 is a movie that is, like, infinitely rewatchable. Imagine, I guess this is the musical, but imagine, it wasn't 1 movie and you had to end the way this ended. And I don't think it would have had as, like, strong of an impact. In this way, they were able to really, like, go deep on, well, both parts, but specifically on Part 1 and kind of really flesh out Part 1 and make that, I think, like, a really great coherent story. And I think now you're not, like, bogged down every time you watch Wicked by Part 2. By For Good.
Yeah, like, I do agree with you that having the movie end on Defying Gravity is obviously the correct move. However, and I believe I probably said this in our episode last year too, I don't think this world was expanded enough, like, at all. Like, if we look at the runtime, we're looking for both. It's over 5 hours. The musical is 240, let's say, basically with a 15-minute intermission. And I don't think that we've learned that much more about this world than what I learned in 2 hours and 40 minutes in the musical. So to me, I'm just like, this was a really, really long retelling of a story that I already know. And I feel like, and maybe this is on me, but like, were we falsely advertised that we were going to expand the world further than what's the script on the pages of the musical?
I think they feel like, the people who made this movie feel that they have expanded.
And I want to say, Jon Chu, show me where. And I actually don't mean show me because I know you've already showed me. That's like an extra hour that's been added to both of these things. But like, I just don't think enough. I don't know, like, as a whole, putting these two together, I just don't see how we've really, like, told any kind of new story here at all.
Yes, I think, we've talked about this off mic, but something that we were thinking was, did they really, I don't know if they picked anything to really go deep on,
Yes.
Okay, are we going to go really hard on their friendship, like the closest of their friendship? I feel Part 1 did that, but For Good, and like, this is just part of the story, is that they're separated for a lot of this, but I didn't really feel like we got a lot of, understanding, like, the closeness of their friendship in Part 2. Or are we going to go really deep on, like, the political machinations and what is happening to the animals? I don't feel like we really got, like, too deep into that either. Even, like, Fiyero and, like, that relationship, like, okay, we didn't really get a chance to expand that a lot either. So it's like, we spent a lot of time in this movie, but I don't know if we really, like, we went broad and not, like, in depth on any specific thing. I don't think.
Like, where was it? What did we spend the time on? Like, why is it, like, I can't figure it out that, like, Part 1 of this movie is 240, Part 2 is 218, and, like, what is that? Was it just, like, longing shots? Was it, like, tulips in the field? Like, I don't know what we spent the time on, because,
lot of
like,
interstitial, like, establishing shots in this movie.
Because everything that you're saying, like, I didn't see any of that. Like, we just, I don't know. And here's the thing, like, again, I can say off the bat here, also, sorry, for anyone that's listening, this is a completely spoiler, like, podcast review of Wicked Part 2. And just Wicked as a whole, as a property. But I said this to you earlier that, like, was I disappointed in this? Absolutely. I was disappointed in this. But, like, do I even have the right to be disappointed in this? Because, like, this is what it was always going to be.
Yes. No, 100%. Act 2 of Wicked is weird. It's a little, the thing, like, again, like, we've been talking about this, that because it moves so quickly on stage, and also I think when you see things on stage, you are willing to just forgive things a bit more.
100%.
But when you're, like, moving so quickly. What happens in 45 minutes? You're just like, go, 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 go. You're kind of like overlooking any little holes or anything silly to get to these like, emotional musical numbers. In the movie, when you stretched out what is 45 minutes to almost 2.5 hours, you're having a chance to examine every little hole. It's like when you have a piece of mesh and you put it close together, the holes are closed. But when you stretch it apart and really have time to look, you see every single imperfection, every hole is exposed, and water's just running through it. And the idea of a strength of movie is that you're able to like do close-ups, you're able to edit, you're able to really like decide what the audience is seeing, but at the same time that means things like feel a bit more disjointed and a bit more separated than they do on stage.
Yeah, like I had said to you yesterday that, I'm willing to forgive. Again, for those that don't know, this is a musical I've seen 9 times on stage. Like, I love Wicked. Flaws and all. Like, I am very aware that there are flaws to this story. But when I see the greatest Act 1 finale maybe ever on stage, and then 15 minutes later I'm given this like weird clunky Act 2 that also has like some of my favorite songs in it, like For Good being the be all end all, I'm like, who cares? We just saw her
You're
fly.
Still wrapped up.
I'm
swept away.
thinking about everything. It's also like, we talk about this all the time. So many guests that have come on this podcast talk about this all the time. There is nothing like live theater, like literally nothing like it. So you're also willing and able to forgive because you're like, these people in front of me are giving like their life on stage, these performances. I'm like,
it's a much more like
enthralled by the makeup
the
that goes
into
screen. It. I'm looking at every single possible thing. Whereas for this, you gave us the greatest ending of part 1 with Defying Gravity, and then you said, go away for a year, not 15 minutes, 1 year, and then let's drop you back into this world. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, I don't know about other people. I did not revisit part 1 before watching it. The last time I watched it was probably February.
Yeah, I've seen it again this year, but not like close enough to.
Once we got our Blu-rays, I watched the Blu-ray. Blu-ray? Where do you have it? Mine's downstairs. Our Blu-ray.
I haven't watched the Blu-ray because I don't own a Blu-ray machine, but here she is.
Thank you to the Tara group for
shout out
the Blu-ray. But yeah, like that's the last time I watched it, probably February when I watched it with my parents at home. But yeah, I've
been in the world for the last year. Yeah,
of course. But yeah, so this one, I do think the way I think part 1 stands alone as like a movie, and I think it is a bit of a self-contained story. I think part 2 is a true part 2, and it relies on knowledge of part 1 of The Wizard of Oz, of even just like contextually like Wicked generally. Yeah. I think it is made for people who know what Wicked is. I don't think it's made for newcomers, to be honest. In the way that I do think part 1 kind of was made for a newcomer.
If you just dropped in, not knowing anything, you'd be like, what is this movie?
Well, like, honestly, one of my favorite sequences was the, like, Tin Man transformation moment.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to Char, and I turned to Char, and I was like, imagine you didn't know. This was happening right in front of you. Like, I was like, this would be crazy. Yeah. This would be so...
There was someone that gas behind me, yeah.
That was one of the strongest moments, I feel, was... that like sequence into, Bach turning into the Tin Man, like true spoilers here, like Bach turning into the Tin Man, and like that felt like really visceral and strong. And I was thinking, imagine you truly did not know this was coming.
Yeah.
That would be crazy to watch.
And like back on like, the pre-existing knowledge that you need to have. Like I saw yesterday, I don't know when it was, like basically these 2 people fighting in the comments of a TikTok video about this.
Of course.
About that this is a continuation, not a sequel. And that's why, yes, because a lot of people are saying that like the beginning is confusing because you're kind of just like dropped back into this world and there's nothing that kind of like builds you up to get there. We're just like lights up.
How much time has it been?
Apparently it's 4 years. I read this today and I was like, what? Like, how is it 4 years? Like, where are we getting that time frame from? But anyway, so someone was just saying that like, you can drop in because like obviously at the end of the first part it ends with Defying Gravity and then a huge to be continued comes up on the screen, like that's how we're ending that movie. But it's just, again, it's so hard to be dropped back into something that I haven't seen in almost a year. Like I also don't remember all of the things. It's been a long time since I've seen the musical like on stage, almost 2 years. Like there's different things that you just like don't remember. And I think to ask your audience to like really rely on part one and again, The Wizard of Oz, it's just like, it's just hard. You're always going to have people that are confused by things when you're asking your audience to have like so much pre-existing knowledge coming into your other movie. I guess like let's start homework. Yes, exactly. I was gonna say like let's start kind of like at the beginning of the movie because this is not how the musical opens in Act 2. This is where we're getting into what Steph was talking about, like our political animal stuff. However, I like literally hated the first 15 minutes of this movie. It felt so superhero movie to me and like not in a good way. And it also just like didn't quite make sense because as you're saying, like how much time has passed since, you know, we last saw her in Defying Gravity? Like, are we to assume that so much had changed with the livelihood of these animals between part one and part two? I guess we are, but like, there's no, you know what we needed? Like, a narrator.
A title card of some sort. Just be like 4 years later, something.
Something.
You know, they're trying to tell us time has passed, but it's confusing because they're printing all this stuff about Glinda. So it feels like Glinda being this kind of spokesperson for the government is brand new, or has it been 4 years? They're putting posters down. Oh, Wicked Witch of the East, Wicked Witch of the West, like Glinda the Good. They're putting these huge posters up, and so it sounds like it's something fresh to the people, but then we're kind of dropped in, and people are already like, Glinda, Glinda, we love you. So it's like, how long has it been? Like, I feel like they're even confusing the timeline. Because like what they're showing us is that this is like new information being passed out, but it already seems like everyone like feels this way about Glinda, so it's like unclear.
Like it has to be a significant amount of time because when we are in part one, when the wizard is singing Sentimental Man, and he's showing them his like display, he's talking about building the yellow brick road, and this movie opens with like the yellow brick road finishing, so
like being constructed.
But you know, if you live in Toronto, the LRT is still not open, and that's taken 12 years, so maybe it's more than 4 years.
Any amount of time. You know, we don't know what kind of bureaucracy and red tape we have to go through.
Like how fast do these munchkins work? We don't know. No, it's very confusing. Like, I actually think that is, like, maybe the biggest... Because then another critique that I saw, speaking of timelines, is someone was like, what is the time period of this movie? Is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Is it 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 months? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, it does seem from the point that, you know, Glinda... Like, it does seem from the point that Fiyero kind of, like, leaves with Elphaba to the end of the movie is, like, a day and a half. Like... we have night, and then we have like night one more time maybe, and then it's over. So maybe the first half takes a bit longer, but once it kind of gets going, that second half of the movie is a day and a half, if that.
Yeah, I think like, and this was kind of the general consensus of everybody that we saw this with, is that the pacing is insane. Like it just is. It's very, and not just like time period wise, but just the way that it moves in general is like very. It's very disjointed.
The first half is like kind of a slog.
It's
and then the second half
boring.
Like I was like
I saw a TikTok today that someone was like, this movie does not get good until No Good Deed. I was like, you know what? You're right. And that is the final third of the movie.
Yeah, like it really, that first bit is so slow. And then it really picks up. You know, we're missing in the second half is like big dance numbers. We're missing kind of like upbeat. I know we're like, you know, descending into fascism, so it's like hard to like do a dance number. You know what I mean? But like,
no, but even
where's
like,
the Christopher Scott choreography? I missed you.
Yeah. So back to like that opening. So we open with this like new, like the animals can no longer speak. They're being like dictated by the wizard and his minions and whoever else. Glinda's like a public figure now, and then we see like Elphaba in her like tree house singing a random like reprise of something that I can't even remember.
Part of like The Wizard and I think like it's a little bit of Wizard and I.
I'm just gonna pull up the
like the same melody
soundtrack. So it starts with like Every Day More Wicked, which is how it starts in the musical, but it's definitely much shorter, and it's a full ensemble piece where it's not in this. and then we get into Thank Goodness, which we've talked about before. This is one of my favorites. I know it's one of your favorites on this cast recording. I just
Bridges you've crossed, you didn't know you've crossed until you've crossed.
And you know what? Pop star Ariana Grande came out in that moment. we heard the real Ariana, not Galinda, in that song. I don't know. Like, Thank Goodness didn't hit for me in this, and I'm like so sad about it.
No, I know.
I also think it just shows you, which we've talked about, but like Fiyero kind of sucks, and like
he always sucks though.
But like there are certain like dialogue that I'm just like, can we not say this right now? I just like the engagement stuff is so, I don't know. I just think he's like so underwritten, and it's a crime. It's a crime that Fiyero is so like, underwritten.
A girl in a superhero movie. He's like the love interest in a superhero movie. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Underwritten, you know? And sometimes men need to be underwritten, okay?
But not Jonathan Bailey.
We need equality. We need equality. Yes, it's like he's like Pepper Potts here. Like to support Iron Man. Not really doing that much. But yes, no, I agree. Like, it's hard. It's so hard.
This whole episode is just going to be us sighing because, like, we don't know what to say.
It's so hard because, like, obviously, like, so many critiques, but at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, it kind of is what it is. Like,
I said this to you yesterday, too, that, like, this movie just accentuated all of the flaws of the musical, and it shouldn't do that. It should, like, mask those and expand them and solve those problems, but instead it just felt like, here's a new issue, here's a new issue, here's a new issue, and guess what? We're not going to solve any of them until the very end.
Okay, like, to you know, compliment, it's quite loyal to the source material. Like, I think they've come
to
in and
its
have been...
fault.
Yes, like, they've been loyal to Wicked as a source material. And, yes, I don't know if they knew sometimes when to, like, pull back or change. Or, you know, you had people in the, you know, creative team and in the process who are such fans and who are such, like, Wicked purists here. Like, speaking of, like, Ariana Grande herself, who are so committed to the original source material. And I wonder if we needed, you know, if we were going to commit to extending this 45-minute act to a 2-hour plus movie, if we needed to bring in, you know, a dramaturg, someone to kind of like reshape this a little bit to make a bit more sense. It's hard also because they're committed to the storyline of The Wizard of Oz as well, that people also know quite well.
Yes. Like, again, while we're in Thank Goodness, this is also where we get, like, the little Galinda scene, right? Because to me, that was such a waste. It was a setup for her to sing the new song later, but also, like, it just didn't make sense. I just feel like...
I know she can't do magic. Like, I'm aware she can't do magic.
But I just think that first, and I'm gonna say, like, 45 minutes is, like, a complete waste of time.
Yes, I was so bored.
You know, honestly, we get Thank Goodness, which again, disappointment. Like, I don't know what else
Morables
to say.
Verse cut.
But also, like, what Michelle Yeoh saying.
Thank goodness.
But then after Thank Goodness is when we get the new song, which, oh my God, Stephen Schwartz, my man, you gotta end this. We're done.
So the thing about this is actually the better of the two new songs.
But also, like, I need to bring up that, like, less than, 3 weeks before seeing this movie, I saw Stephen Schwartz's new score in The Queen of Versailles. And that is obviously worse than what was on display here for Wicked. Okay. But, like, we're done, Stephen. Like, it's over. You had a lovely career, and I think it's done.
No.
Yes.
You keep writing, Stephen, but it's hard. I do think, like, when you're revisiting something 20 years later and you're trying to get back into the voice that you had at that time and add new things to it, and it's always going to sound weird. It's also like people are so used to every other song, and when they start to hear something new, it's automatically jarring to the ear. And then I don't think either of the new songs added really justified their presence.
No, like the No Place Like Home, this I think really messed with the pace here specific. Mm-hmm. I mean, Girl in the Bubble definitely messes with the pace. We'll get to you later, but like I think the pace really got messed up here. I'm also like, one, there are so many animals in Oz. My God, like I cannot believe all the species that live in Oz.
We're at the
and two,
underground railroad.
What are we doing? She's like Noah's arcing these animals under the yellow brick road, and I'm just like, I actually
they were going under the yellow brick road, and she was trying to stop them and have them stay to fight.
Yeah, but then the lion comes in and has an insane line reading scene.
Coleman Domingo, this is one line. He's like, yeah, it's your fault. He like hates Elphaba. And like
he does hate her.
Like I don't think it's justified. Like I think that's crazy. You wanted to be in a cage?
We don't get that. This is all new. This was not in the musical. None of this.
I mean, we know he's the Cowardly Lion, obviously, and then
But it's such an over-the-top performance. He's like screaming at her.
He's like, I don't remember what he said, but I'm like, are you well? Because you were in a cage.
Also, like, someone was saying that.
Also, Fierro did that. It wasn't even her. Like, please.
But someone was saying that, like, you know, if we have traveled in time here and now we're in this version of Oz, like, why are you speaking at all, Lion? You shouldn't be speaking because it's
you
like
to be in your cage.
harmful
Why don't you learn
to you
to
to
talk?
speak. Like, you shouldn't be speaking. I did not like that number. Someone online said that it should have been a monologue, and I agree, that would have been better. I think it starts off okay, but then it like picks up as if it's about to become sort of like The Wizard and I, and it's like too poppy and jazzy for this score.
Okay, here's a vision. Imagine like they start doing choreography like the animals.
I mean, anything could have been possible in that first half of the movie. Like literally anything could have been possible.
And the animals are all like
And, you know, I think it's nice that she reunites with Dulcibert, but, like, there's not enough there. There's, like, no, like, meat to the story. Like, it's nothing.
I wish, like, if we're going to add Dulcibert, and I like that callback, I wish we saw more Dulcibert. Like, maybe that was a character we could have followed throughout the movie and seen maybe the perspective of the animals.
Yeah, like, Sharon D. Clarke is not someone that you just put in for 1 minute, but they did.
Literally, like, I think because all we have is, like, other people saying what they think is best for the animals, what they want to happen to the animals, and we never get the perspective from the animals.
Except for the lion who, crazy.
Yeah, who's, like an incel at this point. Like, he's, like, I don't know.
Where'd he even come from? He just, like, pops up.
Coleman Domingo, I can't believe what he did here. Do you think he was in mocap on the day?
No! I actually don't think it's him. I thought I saw a TikTok of, like, it's some other body. He just went in for the voice.
Yeah, I agree. Similar to Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Who just did the voice. Also, like, I know we saw Dr. Delamond in the cage, like, in a later scene.
I agree.
Peter Dinklage not in this movie.
No, but he's someone that, like, I think because, you know, we built that knowledge in part one, that we could have followed his story to see, like, we know that he was, like, abducted from the classroom to be sent to the Emerald City. But, like, that's it. Like, then we see him for 1 second in a cage, and then, like, possibly by the end, it's at the end, right?
Like,
they, like,
flash forward to him,
like,
classroom?
But we don't hear him speak. I really, like, the animal storyline was one that I think we probably talked about. They were going to expand, but they didn't expand it enough.
Yeah, like, they did, but not enough.
No, because it's so confusing. Like, someone else was saying, like, what do these animals actually want? Because, you know, there's that scene when, like, Elphaba finally gets the key to, like, get the monkeys, but then they don't fly away. So, like, do they want to be held in the cages? Like, it's just very confusing.
Yeah, it's unclear. And I think, you know, we never get the perspective from the animals. And I think that's part of it. You know, Elphaba is fighting... You know,
for
so
what
hard
though? What is she fighting for?
Well, that's the thing. Like, she's fighting to, like, free the animals, or, like.
But is that what they actually want? We never.
Right.
Like, what you're saying,
then the animals are kind of mad at her.
Yeah.
And she's, like, trying to help, and that's at a certain point she goes, no good deed goes unpunished, and she, like, stops trying to do that anymore. She's just kind of over it. Yeah. At the end.
But instead, like, during this scene when, you know, she's, like, representing the animals, she's, like, telling them through song that there's no place like home. I'm like, girl, it's not the time. Like, they want to leave. Like, they're trying to live their own lives.
She's, like, trying to have them stay in this place where they're oppressed
not welcome.
And, like, fight.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we have to go. We have to, like, prioritize ourselves. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's something to explore here, maybe.
Also,
with,
sorry to interrupt you, but if someone just tuned in right now listening to this part, they'd be like, what? are they talking about? The animals are trying to leave and speak and talk.
Yeah, like, I do think there's something to explore here in, like, you know, in an ideal world, you would, like, stay and fight, but, you know, it's not always, like, just a realistic option. Like, sometimes you just have to, like, be in self-preservation mode and escape. And, like, you know, that is something, you know, forever relevant. Like, there's so many themes and topics that, like, are relevant to, you know, the political landscape. And yet, I feel like they really, like, pulled their punches on like everything in terms of like politics, which I guess like Wicked I do think is a political show, but I guess if you are gonna do that, then like let's go deep into the friendship, which I think is what they think they were doing, but I just didn't I didn't feel the build in this movie enough to like get that emotional wallop of For Good.
I mean, I will reference the tweet that you sent to Shar and I on the night, which was like, what is it? The girls are giving it 2 stars, but walking out of the theater crying. Like, me. That was me. Because, like, For Good still got me, but not because, like, I think we're not even there yet, but, like, we'll get to that. But I just think I put, like, my own pre-existing love for that song and these characters. So I was able to, like, get to that place emotionally. But also, I just think, and, like, here I am going to transition this because, like, the transitions are also, like, so jarring in this movie because, you know, we finish this whole animal scene and then it's almost like the camera spins upside down and here we are in Munchkinland with Nessa and Bach. Another
there was, like,
character,
a fade to black and then, like, or there was, like, a slide across the screen
it was a slide.
At one point. There was a slide and I was like, not the slide.
And I also think that Nessa is a character that has such potential that even the musical doesn't tap into her enough. I think she's such an interesting, like, study. And I don't know, you never finished the book, but I don't know, do they get more into, like, Nessa's storyline at all?
Nessa's kind of, like, crazy in the book. Like, she's,
but, like, that's, I feel like
she's kind of, like,
should be.
Very, like, evangelical, like, cult leader almost in the book.
Yeah, I just, like, don't believe her arc specifically in this movie when, like, she was barely in the first part. Now they're trying to make her like a bigger character in the second part, but then there's not enough like scene work to go along with what they're trying to convey. I don't really feel like they
added very much to what is in the musical. Like it was basically direct. You know, she's in the office, Bach's there. Bach does not want to be there, but she doesn't let him leave.
The only new thing is that the Munchkins aren't allowed to leave, but I also thought we could have expanded more on that and we didn't.
Yeah, like, now, like, the Munchkins are being treated like the animals, too. It's like, oh, you think this won't affect you. It's only the animals. Oh, well, it's going to, like, creep more and more into,
They've also really taken...
Again, I think there's more exploration there.
They've also really taken a shot at redheads in this movie, I must say.
Well, okay, so when I was reading, like, during the first movie... Like, after they cast Ethan Slater, like, Jon Chu said they based the look of the Munchkins
on him.
On him. That's why they all kind of look like Ethan Slater, basically. They've all got the, like, hair. They're all gonna be, like, he inspired the look of the Munchkins. That's
so
why they
funny.
all look like him.
And while we're here, if there was a star of this movie, Ethan Slater...
I know, it was like 15 minutes of screen time.
Congratulations, because but in those 15 minutes, he did more than half the characters in this movie.
Impact. That impact. No, I really feel, I've already said, I think his transformation into the Tin Man, it's almost like a body horror type, like, his, like, heart is shrinking, and then Elphaba's, like, because, like, Nessa Rose does a spell wrong, then she, like,
let's actually go back on that, because I do want to talk about here, this is the scene that I think we asked the question last year, how is Nessa going to walk? Because in the musical, I mean, for the first time ever this year, Nessa is played by someone who is actually in a wheelchair, but I believe that she does have mobility because I do think she does do that scene.
I believe she's like an ambulatory wheelchair user, so walking is not something that is, you know, easy for her to do all the time, but she is able to walk and uses a wheelchair to, like, aid her.
Whereas Marissa Bodie cannot walk.
Is a full-time wheelchair user.
She's a full-time wheelchair user, exactly. So the question was, basically what happens is, like, you know, Nessa is complaining that Elphaba doesn't come to see her. Why doesn't she use her magic on her for good? Blah, 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 blah. So she comes and she does a spell on her. I didn't like this part. What did you think about this?
I honestly don't have strong feelings towards this whatsoever, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I don't feel it was, like, a huge change from the musical at all. Like, instead of walking, she like floated above the air. Like, she put a spell on the shoes. It was kind of, sure.
Yeah. I just think that, like, again, when we're not expanding this character, I'm like, but is this what she actually wanted? Like, what did she actually want out of this? Or was it just to, like, feel, I don't know, different for the first time in her life and feel like she was able to do something that she couldn't? And then basically she's interrupted in this moment when she's, like, levitating by Bach, who then is traumatized that, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West is in the room. And Nessa starts to read from the grimoire but can't read it properly, so she's actually doing like a detrimental spell on Bach, which is like shrinking his heart. I saw a tweet that was like, wow, is Elphaba even really like good with her powers? Because every time she opens that grimoire, she's like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah, like, what has she been doing the past 4 years? Like, besides studying that book front to back. She should know what every spell in there does.
Knitting that shawl in her treehouse. That's
I think the animals knit it, like the insects or something.
Oh, maybe. It's very like Snow White of her. Or something. So yeah, she basically like retracts the spell, and as Steph is saying, it's like a really, I think this is one of the most, like, it's one of the strongest scenes in the movie when he turns into the Tin Man. And again, as you were saying, like, if you don't know, it's
you're getting almost like black and white shots of what's happening to him while they're like outside.
And the musical, obviously, like, it's much tamer. They kind of just, like, show his arm come out of a chair, his other arm, and then you see, like, silhouette before he, like, goes into a bigger costume transformation off stage. I thought the makeup was really good in this. I thought the way that he walked was, like, really cool. I love that he acts down the door in this scene. And then we get, like, the Wicked Witch of the East song, like, as this is happening, which, like, that's a song that I love on stage. I did not think it hit in this movie at all. But, yeah, I don't know. I know that, like, everything that we're talking about here is the succession of Act 2, but it still felt so disjointed to me.
Yes, it's just a lot happening all the time. And, yeah, when you cut to, like, Bach and Nessa Rose in their office, you know, in the musical, you haven't seen them in, like, half an hour, maybe. Here, I haven't seen them in a year. I'm like, who are these people? Like, I know who they are, but, like...
No, that's so true. She also, like... Not that she looks different, but, like, they've aged them up. She's got the, like, amazing hair. He has a longer wig. Like, they look different. But, yeah, like... Outfit. If you don't know... There's that one moment, I believe it's during this time, when she says, like, she wishes that they could be the way that they were, and they flash back to the, like, Dancing Through Life scene. But that's, like, too late. We've already, like, been with them. She's already banned him from leaving before we get that, unless I'm, like, wrong thinking about this. Again, this is first viewing information here. But it's just, like, yeah, exactly to what you're saying. Like, sorry, who are you?
Yes, like, is it clear that Nessa Rose is really, like, holding on to Bach because...
She's not angry enough for me.
I mean... She is pretty angry, but like,
but not enough.
Is it clear that Nessa's holding on to Bach because, you know, that night was the first time she felt like wanted for herself, so she's just like holding on to it selfishly and like trapping him there, even though
because like he's still trying
it's not the same anymore.
It's also within this like moments with them that he sees the newspaper that Glinda's getting married, so like he's still obsessed with her.
Still feels.
Even though Glinda. He hasn't seen her in maybe 4 years. Like, I don't know.
I know. They all hung out together at school. Yeah, there were a moment where, like, Bach is the Tin Man, and, like, Glinda looks down at him, and he looks up at her. People are like, does she recognize him? Like,
I don't know.
Does she know who that is? And, you know, we don't know, and I don't know if that's crucial to the story. I think that's actually like, an interesting thing that the movie kind of leaves up to your interpretation. I think that's, like, a good thing to leave up to your interpretation. Does she recognize him? Like, can she see, you know, him in this person?
But yeah, so like that also then kind of like ends with, you know, Bach turns into the Tin Man, and then Elphaba was like, gotta go save the animals again. I'm like, oh my god, like...
Yeah, and Nessa Rose like casts the blame, even though it was like mostly her fault, on Elphaba.
Yes.
So like a lot of these like bad things that happen are attributed to Elphaba, which like adds to the kind of like hatred of her.
Yeah. So then after this is when we have Glinda and Elphaba see each other for the first time in this movie. We're about like 30 minutes in at this point, maybe longer, which is like on the balcony the day of Glinda's wedding day. That scene was so nothing to me. I just am like, you have these actresses that like had, again, in part one, built such an amazing chemistry that it was like, I loved watching them together on screen in Act One, and I just felt like nothing until certain moments towards the end for the two of them on screen. But maybe because subconsciously I was like, we're about to sing Wonderful, and like, I cannot. I also think that Jeff Goldblum's interpretation of the wizard in this movie specifically is bad. I think it's bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Jeff Goldblum performance in this. I like him less than I like Michelle Yeoh. For some reason, like, I cannot hate Michelle Yeoh in this. Like, I don't care that much about Michelle Yeoh in this.
I just think they did, like, her character. I think they did Madame Morrible dirty. I don't think it has anything to do with her, like, her specifically, other than like her vocals. But like,
yeah, obviously she's not a good singer.
But like, Madame Morrible is like such a strong character in that musical, and I feel like they kind of like when she falls on the wedding cake, I'm like, what are we doing here? This is a comedy, guys. Like, this is so weird. Madame Morrible would never.
No, I know. Yeah, it's like, it's a very different interpretation to Madame Morrible from the musical. Yeah. Which, again, is okay, but, yeah, I don't know if it's, like, a strong
But then when
choice.
certain things happen, like, it's not as big of an impact. I don't know. But, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I just think, like, the Jeff Goldblum arc here is not for me. I really think he's, like, bad. I think the wizard interpretation is really bad in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know, like, who it should be. Like, it should be someone likable, obviously, because, you know, I don't know. Like, I saw someone, like, fan cast, and they were, like, Martin Short, and I was like, wow, iconic.
So short.
You know who else is short? Cynthia Erivo.
And Ariana Grande, both.
And Ariana Grande, everyone's short. Yeah, like, Jeff Goldblum, like, I don't know, again, whatever. I don't mind the choice of adding, like, Glinda to Wonderful, because I don't think the wizard alone would be able to convince Elphaba in that way.
Yeah,
like,
I
it
just,
has
like,
to be...
that scene, even in the musical, like, never felt earned to me. Like, why would she listen to him now?
I know, it's, like, such a quick turn from her. She's like, okay, I agree. What?
I know.
Like, now? What have we been doing? Yeah. What's been happening? And then, obviously, it's, like, very short-lived, but, yes, it is a very quick turn, and I think the quick turn is justified more by having Glinda also kind of, like,
yes, because someone she trusts and loves and knows that, like, she wouldn't lead her wrong.
Yeah, or wouldn't intentionally lead her in that way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, it's kind of, like, not unnecessary, but, like, it's such a quick turn and then turn back, so you're kind of like, oh, we're just, like, you know, in the same place at the end that we were at the beginning almost, though it is kind of like, I guess, the moment after that kind of sets in motion kind of the final act of the movie.
So I actually think that, like, post Wonderful, actually, no, we'll get to As Long as You're Mine in literally 1 second, because
yes,
that music video that they've shot for this movie is so weird. But I do like the scene because then, like, Chistry, like, motions to her that there's something behind this, like, sphere, painting, which I think is, like, kind of a callback to, you know, her knocking off the, what's it called?
Yes, like the face of the wizard.
Yeah, at
like
Shiz.
The waterfall or whatever.
And you see the animals.
The painting.
Yeah, their, like, mural that was made there however many years ago that was. So I actually thought that was, like, a fun little callback. I do like the scene that it's, like, Galinda's walking down the aisle, Elphaba's walking through to see all these animals in cages. I love when he finds her in there and she tells him to run. I was like, yes, we're getting
this
somewhere.
Is like villainous.
Yes.
This is like villainous Elphaba.
Yeah, like I like
heroic villainous Elphaba.
And then Fiyero comes in to, like, save the day, which I like. Again, I know it is this jarring in the musical, but it doesn't feel as crazy as, well, one, there's no wedding in the musical. So for him to do this on their wedding day is chaotic of him. We also do see the wizard take a swig from the green bottle again, which I want to talk about this later because I actually think the reveal of him being a father was completely non-existent really in this movie, where it's a huge moment in the musical, but we'll get there later.
I mean, it is, anyway, like, it does, they do spend, like, time on it, but you just don't care at that point. It's very late. I
care in the musical.
No, I know.
Anyway,
also,
we'll say that when we get there.
Sort of. Anyway,
yeah.
keep going.
So then, they run away together, and she's basically like, oh, this has been a thing all along. And then we get, Ariana Grande in a wedding dress singing I'm Not That Girl Reprise. And like devastating to me is the yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, even before that is kind of the scene like where they kind of like linger in a close-up on Ariana's face for like a long time. Or the strip lashes, like, please. No, but like where she's after Elphaba and Fiyero leave.
Yes.
Glinda is like devastated, and like Madame Morrible and the wizard having a conversation in the back, but the camera just like sits on Glinda's face for a long time before Glinda says basically like her sister, like, you have to spread a rumor, that's how you can get Elphaba. Like, she's kind of, upset at Elphaba at this point,
right?
And she's kind of willing to do this, but like,
the face acting that she was doing, amazing. If she gets nominated for an Oscar, that's the clip they're going to use.
And also like the choice to film it in that way, because like nothing else in the movie is filmed like that. Everything else seems so much more polished and has like shorter cuts back and forth from things. You can see
her wheels turning, but also like the devastation, like setting in of like, my fiance just left with my best friend, and the only way for you two to get her back is to use her sister. But it's like so muted tone, but also like she's acting to the gods in that scene. Like the eye acting that she does is so good in this movie. Like, it's really good stuff.
She's in like her wedding dress, her little like butterfly tiara.
Her like tears are mascara. Like, it's good.
The strip lashes are
falling
askew. No, they're not. They would never be askew. It's part of her contract. Cannot be seen without a strip lash.
Could we do some individuals? That would be so much better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could we do an extension maybe? Something a little more natural looking.
It's really prominent because like not so much now because she's basically dressing like Glinda, but like Ariana Grande was known for that sharp liner. So like it would mask a bit of the strip lash.
Yeah.
But now that she's not wearing the liner for Glinda, we just see the glue.
And she's like, not like tanning as much. She's not tan in this movie at all, but she's not as bronzed, let's say.
Well, we also are still in the Jon Chu really school of no color in this movie, so like it's making her look gray. Yeah.
Desaturated.
So then she ends up back into. Well, sorry, we forgot to mention the fact that when she lets the animals go, they like destroy the wedding. That's why this all happens in the first place. And then she sings "I'm Not That Girl" Reprise. Great. Devastating to me. I'm loyal to that cast recording, obviously. I think the transition from I'm Not That Girl Reprise into As Long As You're Mine is like one of the best in the musical, but it takes us a really long time to start the music for As Long As You're Mine. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I was waiting for that transition, like so annoyed.
Well, we have to like transport.
Yeah, she got taken to the treehouse.
Then we go to the treehouse, and he's like, I've never been to your place before. What do you have here? Show me around. Give me a tour.
He's like, let me see all these posters of like all these things on your wall about the animals. And then we get the most bizarre. I'm not even going to call it a sex scene because it's not a sex scene.
I know.
Like, love romantic
scene
of all time. And there was a moment when I was watching this and I was like, wow, are we about to get like Bridgerton season 2?
Is it about to go down? Is it about to go down? No.
Because like that also happens in the woods, and that is so sexy. This garbage, trash.
Chase.
Why is he taking off his suspenders so aggressively and like reading her propaganda posters? Like, it's
I thought it was just like they're just like getting comfortable. Like they got home.
No, she's walking around.
It's been a long
she's
day.
Getting into her lingerie while singing "Kiss Me Too Fiercely," and he is across the forest.
Okay, so what I saw from Jon Chu talking about it is that like in the musical, obviously they get right to it, but he didn't feel that would be like organic for the characters because they haven't seen each other in a long time.
But
like,
because they did it this way, I was like, these two have zero chemistry. Zero.
So he was like, they were both like imagining it or like singing what they wanted to happen. I thought like he was like taking his suspenders off. He's like, I've been in my military uniform all day. Like, I'm like suffocating here.
So fast.
Yeah, he's just like a physical actor. He's just like he's like, gotta take this jacket off. Like, oh my God, I'm tired. I'm just gonna slip into something a bit more comfortable while I get home, this like giant sweater, cardigan, whatever this was, and her like little like bodysuit.
It's weird.
She's just like, I can't wear the cloak at home. That's a bit formal. Yes, I have seen a TikTok basically being like, someone was talking, I don't even know who it was. They were like, I thought Wicked for Good was so good, but I will not be taking my children to it because there is an intimate scene You know, it's like quite graphic. So then I was like
Oh my
watching
God.
the movie, like really expecting something to happen, and then literally they like barely kissed, and then it cut to them being under the covers. And I was like,
You're like,
That's
that was the crazy graphic sex scene?
that's it.
I wish we got something more than that.
Like anything. When they kiss, they like float, like her magic.
That was
floats
so
down.
weird to me. I hated that. I hated that.
I didn't know
Actually,
that.
like,
That was cute.
and I know that you don't like As Long As
I'm
You're
an As Long As
Mine.
You're Mine hater. I find it so
Anyway?
uncomfortable. I find it unearned in the musical as well.
Right.
So like,
I do agree. It is
I don't
unearned,
care about
but
this.
there's something about that. I think the instrumental is like so good on that song that I've just always like really liked
Yes, like
it.
the transition into it. I agree.
Yeah.
But I find it really uncomfortable for some reason on stage.
I
don't
also,
like it.
and here I'm going to bring up what I brought up earlier about dialogue and Fierro specifically. Like, I've never had a problem with this line before until I did seeing this movie. But the, like, you're beautiful, I'm not, you are, it's just looking at things in a different way. I saw a TikTok and this woman was like, are you out of your mind, Fierro? That's so offensive.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's that serious.
I just like that's what I'm saying. I just like feel like this
She's
movie
green.
accentuated all of the like weird. Yeah, but why do we have to like? Why does that make her less beautiful? Like that's so rude.
She's green. I don't know what to tell you.
She really
Then
did blend into the
callback
forest when he was
he's
looking-
like made
I
of
know, but
burlap or
I
whatever.
hated that. I hated that. Like I just did not like that. And also, like it's always been cringy, but for the first time I feel Wicked was so cringy in this movie.
No, I hate
this
that.
is when we laughed, and then you were like, "We're not even halfway through."
I was like, please end this. Yeah, that's one of those things that like works on stage because it's already kind of like heightened, and the movie is obviously heightened, but this is like, you know.
It's also
I
funny
don't
because
know.
like
It's
for
hard to take
people
serious.
that haven't seen the musical, it's not like there's this massive like sexy scene that's happening on stage either. They're just like
They
both
kiss a bit more, though. They're, like,
kneeling and like moving with each other. I actually think it's like what they do on stage is way better than what they did in this movie. Like this was so bizarre to me. Like it was just really bizarre and it felt like a music video and I hated it.
Kiss me so fiercely. Hold me
It was so unsexy. I really thought
Yes.
we were about to get like Bridgerton, Jonathan Bailey, and we got not that.
I have always found it unsexy, though. I have never found this song sexy, and like I am vindicated here. It has always been weird.
But there's so many
Sorry.
people online that are like, it's so hot. I'm like, are we watching the same thing?
Nothing even happens. What is hot?
I don't know. The
What is
shawl
hot?
is enough to turn everybody off. So like, I don't
Where
know.
did she get that? Who made that? Like, is there a store?
Yeah, where did she get her clothes? We never discussed this. We know
Well,
like
I did read somewhere that she went back to the school and got her stuff. So she has her
Oh.
stuff from school, apparently.
when did she show up without anybody seeing her?
That's a good question. I don't
Did
know.
she surfboard on that broom in like she does in the opening?
Maybe she went like immediately, but they would be pretty on guard at that point. But yes, what I did read is that it was supposed to be clear that she went back and got her stuff. So she has some of her stuff, and then
And
maybe
was
like
that like treehouse just vacated? So she just moved in? Did someone live
Maybe
there
she, like,
before?
made it. Maybe she created it. Okay, so in the book, she's kind of squatting in an abandoned apartment, sort of.
That's much more realistic.
Like
to
more
me.
like in the city.
Yes.
Versus in the movie where she is, and even
Yeah,
in the musical, like she's in like the forest.
I guess Elphaba is just like trying to be like one with the animals, but she's not.
Yeah, like they've rejected her, the people have rejected her, she's rejected by everyone. I mean, this is kind of like, you know, this is the thing, like her and Glinda have opposite skill sets, and without the other skill set, they're both kind of nothing, if that makes sense. So Elphaba's just kind of like a deeply unpopular person with everyone.
Except for Fierro.
So yeah, she's trying to help the animals. They don't like her. She wants to be with the wizard.
Because she's coming on
no.
too strong with the animals, though. I actually
She's coming on too strong.
Like I agree with the
She's coming
animals
on
in
too
this
strong.
situation.
They're like, look, we're just gonna leave. We're
Just let
leaving.
us live our own life. Don't pretend that you know who we are. Okay, but now I'm looking at the cast recording, and you know the next song after "As Long as You're Mine" is "No Good Deed," but like, there's a lot of movie that happens there, but I cannot remember.
Okay, so that's obviously after "As Long as You're Mine" is the like. This is when the Wizard of Oz starts happening.
Yes.
This is when the Wizard of Oz starts happening. So
Okay, take us through.
They do the house onto Nessa Rose. They kill
Madame
Nessa Rose with the
Morrible.
house. Madame Morrible creates a tornado. the house from Kansas lands on Nessa Rose. So they've used Nessa Rose's actual death as bait. Glinda did not intend for Nessa Rose to actually die.
She wanted a rumor.
That was quite a diabolical thing to even suggest during the rumor. So, like, some of the blame falls on her. Elphaba shows up in Munchkin Land. Like, I think a lot of the blame is on her, yeah. Like, she does have that, like, you know, kind of manipulative...
Oh, yeah.
Glinda, like she does have that at her core.
I don't think she heard them say, though, that a rumor wouldn't work.
Yes, she didn't intend for her to die, but, like, that was a quite, like, manipulative, like, mean thing to say. At the same time, this girl just ran away with her fiancé on her wedding day. Like, all bad things. Like, that's that's not as bad as killing your sister, but, like, you know, emotions are high.
It's a relative. Yeah.
So Elphaba's there, then, like, the guard comes, but then Fiyero comes, points the gun at Glinda. That was good, actually.
But actually, sorry, let's flash back a bit because we have that, like, dumb fight scene that I think only works on stage. It was way
on stage it's
too
funny because it's kind of like camp.
In this. Yeah, it was too silly. But basically, our main critique as a whole... the group that saw it was that we do think that Nessa's legs need to be seen from under the house because otherwise...
Just to, like,
who
be
is that?
Clear what is happening.
Yeah, just to, you know, tie in, we need those... You know what, though? She's not even ever wearing... Do we ever even see her wear those black and white stockings? I don't think so.
I'd have to look.
Maybe in the first movie, because in the second movie when they show her shoes, she's wearing, like, a plaid sock. So it's not the same.
Regardless, if they showed the plaid sock, that would be okay.
I was going to say, regardless, legs need to be under the house. Because
yes, and I know the legs shrink in The Wizard of Oz, but we just need to know where we're coming, like, what's going on.
Yeah, just to, like, justify what happened here. So basically, like, Glinda is saying her goodbyes. She says, Elphaba comes in. She basically says, like, please give me a moment, you know, alone with my sister. And then they have this, like, weird fight scene that I just don't think works in the moment of this movie. But what I do think works is what you were saying is Fiyero pointing the gun at Glinda. Because
Jonathan Bailey, again, doing a lot of eye acting here. Like, he doesn't have lines, really.
This is the number one thing
you're really
that
just getting his
about,
face.
Is the eye acting.
A lot on the face.
But this is another great Ariana Grande facial expression moment because you really see her change. Because at first when he points the gun, she's shook. And then she, like, realizes what's going on and how she can be used here in the correct way. I also love when...
She doesn't think he would do it to her. You know what I mean? Like...
Well, I think, at the, like, split second when it first happens.
The beginning it's shocking to have a gun pointed at you, no matter what's happening.
But then she realizes that... But I also loved her line reading and also, like, face when... Because the hat is, like, on the ground at this point, and Glinda has it. And Fiyero basically makes a deal with the other, like, wiki guards that, like, let Elphaba go, or he's going to kill Glinda. And when he tells her to go, and then she looks at Fiyero, but then it's like Ariana Grande's, she literally just says go, but it's the way that she does it. I'm like, yes, girl, like, we're really acting in this movie. I really appreciate it because no one else is doing anything right now. But yeah, so then Elphaba leaves, and then she walks herself all the way up. In the musical, it's gun to chest. In the movie, it's gun to head, which I thought was, like, a much... more impactful.
You know, moment. It allows them to get, like, a closer shot of the face. Like, you don't have to stay as wide. Yeah. You know, when you are doing a full stage picture, it's, you know, you can kind of, like, take it from further away. But you want to get that close-up of her face with the gun, with, you know, the emotions, with, like, Fiyero. So
his hands
I
are
think
shaking
that works really well.
Because he also doesn't want to do this. Like,
this is shocking for him too. Like,
yeah, like it's all
it's been a day.
Surprising.
Yesterday, the day before they were supposed to get married, and now.
And now this. So he puts the gun down, and that's when the guards sees him. And if you're not paying attention, you will miss them say, take him up to the stocks and hang him, basically, but not hang him, like put him up. And then we go into No Good Deed. And I do think, like, as, you know, random TikTok, Twitter users are saying, this is where the movie gets good, but it's too late by this point to redeem everything that we've already
it's taken
done.
Some time.
Yeah. So we get No Good Deed, which is, she goes to his castle, right? I cannot remember what the name of his castle is called.
So he had told her already that his family has an abandoned castle that no one lives in. And she's like, where do they live? And he's like, the other castle.
In the castle, yeah. But this one has a specific name. It starts with a K, but I just can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yes, it does have a name. I guess doesn't matter that much, but yes. So there's, like, an abandoned castle that she's supposed to go to. So she goes there with her monkeys and
the grimoire.
and the Grimmery and starts casting a spell to save him.
But does she even hear them say that? She's like gone before that happens.
And maybe she's making an assumption.
Okay.
Here that they're gonna
kill him.
You know, it's not gonna end well for him, and so she's trying to make him, you know, let him never die, like a way to make him immortal.
And you know, another time to point out that she says, "What good is this chanting? I don't even know what I'm reading." Girl,
yeah.
What have you been doing?
Like, this would have been the time to. You should have been studying however long it's been.
Exactly.
Like, what's in the Grimmery? You can't just expect it to flip open to the perfect page every time.
Yeah, that only happens every once in a while. Like, please, we need to actually work here. If you're gonna make this your full-time career as being a wicked witch and cast spells, you have to study. It can't just come naturally to you. Like, we're really going in on Elphaba here, but I don't think she did the work that she needed to do.
No, I know. And it's just inexcusable in the movie here. So now we're like, does it have to be a scarecrow? Like, were there other options?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, anything else? So yeah, now we're seeing kind of, she's doing this, but we're getting these kind of like black and white, kind of like sideways flashes
of him being like put
on the thing. Yeah. Again, imagine you didn't know. You didn't know.
She's also like giving the vocal performance of her life in this song. We are optioning up on our option ups. Like, it's crazy.
Let him never die. Let him never die. So
this
good.
is also one of my favorite songs in the musical. So like,
I think this is like a high point of Act 2 generally.
Yes, and also I do think that like it gave me what I wanted it to give. If it didn't, I think I would be like incredibly disappointed. But
yeah,
overall,
I think No Good Deed is like a really strong.
She is like flying around everywhere in this scene as well. So then, yeah, now we kind of just, like, you know, go through the motions a bit of The Wizard of Oz. We see, like, scenes with the wizard and Morrible about how they've asked Dorothy, someone has asked Dorothy to kill her and bring back the broom.
Well, they want the broom.
They see...
I guess, like, to prove.
Yeah, the wizard sees Dorothy, Tin Man, Scarecrow, Lion in the lair, like we do in The Wizard of Oz.
It's not quite clear how they... I mean... You know The Wizard of Oz, but like, what is the chronology of like Dorothy meeting these people? I guess, like, is it just like, oh, I'm also going to see the wizard? Why is Bach on the way to see the wizard? I guess is my question. Why is Fiyero on the way to see the wizard? Why does the lion feel comfortable going to see the wizard?
Like, why is the lion comfortable doing anything?
Like, so true. But you know what? These are just not kind of things you just have to like skate over because like this is just the conceit of the show.
Yes, but in the show, it's not as spelled out as it is in this movie. We do not see like the core four go to see the wizard in the movie in the musical like we do. Like
you see a little Dorothy in.
Well, you Wicked, see like silhouette, and you see her walk off on the yellow brick road. She says like Glinda says, just follow it that entire time.
Just follow it all
But like, I actually think as a Wizard of Oz, you know, lover, like literally one of my favorite movies ever, I think we saw too much Wizard of Oz in Wicked for good.
I agree. Like some of it was goofy when like the witch like kidnaps Dorothy at one point.
She is on Soarin' at Disney World.
I was like, please. Not this.
That was a Universal Studios ride. Like that's what was happening there.
Like just goofy looking.
And then a lot of people online are commenting on the fact that like, yes, they've made the decision to not show Dorothy's face, but like we really like we're moving our cameras to make sure that we didn't see it. And like it would have been okay if we saw a bit of a side face. Like it wasn't a bit of a side
profile. Yeah, like the most we see of her is sort of, you know, all the way at the end when, you know, we're melting the witch.
Yeah.
We see kind of like Galinda's like watching, so we see it in silhouette. And when she holds the broom over her head for an extended amount of time, corny. No, but you know what? Like in the midst of that, you know, we have March of the Witch Hunters, which is another highlight.
Okay, but also I do need to point out what I brought up to you yesterday is that like during March of the Witch Hunters, this is like the Tin Man's time to shine. And let me tell you, once again, Ethan Slater did that. He is so angry in this. He's almost like unrecognizable, I think, with his Tin Man makeup. Yeah. It's like really like intricate makeup. Even his teeth are silver, which is cool. But he's like really
he said it took like 5 hours
I know, I saw it. Yeah. But he's really leading this like rebellion in the Emerald City. And then someone online was like, but if we're taking place in the same universe, like literally 2 seconds ago, he was just singing If I Only Had a Heart. And it just like doesn't quite work. It's just two completely different characters.
You know, I know it would have been spoilery, but at the like concert, like the wonderful like night, one wonderful night, it would have been really fun to have like, I know Johnny wasn't there, but like Ethan sing If I Only Had a Heart, like Johnny sing If I Only Had a Brain.
Yeah.
Coleman Domingo can come out, he can sing
I'm the King of the Forest, I think that's the song that the lion sings.
Yeah, whatever he sings. Yeah. And like I think that would have been like fun. I wonder if they could still do something like that, because I think that would be like a cheeky, you know,
yeah, I agree with
reference.
You. Yeah. But then here's where our pacing like dies again, is we're having this big like rebellion scene. We're singing, you know, March of the Witch Hunters, which I also like will point out, we've talked about this before, but like that scene on stage, also iconic. It's really good with the full ensemble. But then we get like such a break, and we have her going to sing The Girl in the Bubble, which is a complete, absolute
Who cares?
Garbage song.
Who cares about Girl in the Bubble?
That.
I'm asleep. I'm bored. I also feel like it serves a similar purpose to I'm Not That Girl. Like, why couldn't they have her kind of to the same melody as I'm Not That Girl? If they really wanted a song here, you know, but just a few more lines in that melody.
It doesn't even fit in this place because it breaks the momentum of what we just saw.
Yes.
And also we're about to sing For Good, which is a ballad anyway. So like, I really don't understand the choice. Like when we started this movie and Little Glinda showed up, I thought that's when we were getting this song.
Girl in the Bubble. Not to like stop the like third act climax action.
Yeah, like how does it transition from Girl in the Bubble? Oh, Ariana Grande, Glinda, like gets an old pair of boots and jumps on a horse and decides to go.
Yeah, she goes to like find her. She goes to find Elphaba.
Who told her? Or are we to assume that like Fiero's horse knows where she is because...
Okay, I think it's the horse, whatever his name is. And she took the horse.
I want to say it's Maximus, but it's not Maximus. That's from like Tangled, but that's all I can think of right
Tangled. Now. Jack is the real horse's name.
It's blue. This horse is blue.
Yes, he has a blue horse.
But that's the only thing that I could think about.
Like Feldspur or something like that. Oh, yeah,
you're right. Something like that. But that's the only thing I could think about in this moment was that the horse must have known, because that's where Fiero's castle. Family lived. Yeah.
Yes, and like Fiero told... Okay, I think that's a fair assumption.
That's
like a normal thing to do. She put on the cloak. I'm like, she's a traitor. She's a traitor.
Yeah, but also this is a callback to the first movie, because we all thought it was Elphaba on the horse. It was always Glinda in the opening shot of the first movie.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So fun. So we've got... Yes, I guess. So yeah, then when she gets there, you know, they like speak. This is also the point where Elphaba, like Chistery... Yeah, like Chistery brings, you know, her a piece of like Fiero's clothing.
And apparently she writes a note on it. I read about this today.
Yeah, like I got that, like this was a message from Fiero. Like she understood, like there was a plan on there. But like Glinda sees it and like has... She thinks Fiero's dead.
We've seen his face for the last time.
We've seen his face for the last time.
Not a lie. Not a lie.
No, it's not a lie. We have definitely seen his face for the last time.
Did you see what I sent you, like, before we started recording this? That everyone thinks he looks like Ryan Reynolds?
He's gonna look like... Because, like, they, like, flattened out his features.
Yeah.
Like, I saw
a horrifying shot of, like, him in the makeup chair with just, like, the bag over his face.
Crazy looking. Yes.
But yeah, when Glinda gets there, Elphaba is, like, Dorothy is under, in the, like, trap door of whatever, the lair. We've seen
Elphaba be like, and your little dog too, and like shut the...
And then she's like filling up the bucket of water for, I guess,
like after she got the note, because like that's part of the plan.
Exactly.
That's part of the plan. I think someone was saying, and I don't think I've ever seen it, but this note also happens on the Broadway show, and like this note has been auctioned off at some point, so we have seen what the note says.
Well,
but if you see it in the movie, it like spoils what happens, so you kind of just...
Yeah, Jon Chu basically said in an interview that like there is something that's written on there. They chose not to zoom in on it for that reason, that like the end doesn't feel warranted or earned,
yes,
I guess.
Because like some people are shocked when she like, you know, pops out of that little trapdoor.
Alessandra. But basically, so they decide here that, like, this is it. They say their goodbyes. This is when I cried, because I, again, just, like, had all of that pre-existing knowledge. And also, I was thinking about the Oz Does Ballroom scene, which was, like, my favorite thing that happened in the first part of this movie. And I wish Oh my God, they should have flashed back to that. Then I really would have been like on the
Wow,
floor.
they could have. Well, during like Wonderful, they're
Yes.
doing like that choreography.
They
like,
are.
Because we're
but,
getting
like,
the band back together
imagine-
again.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about like imagine if like the door closes, because I think the addition of the door is really interesting. We'll talk about this now because I think it's a new thing that, you know, flashes, it helps everything kind of. But imagine if like they say their words to each other, they say their I love yous, you know, we sing for good, and then they close the door and both of them are like closing their eyes and crying separately. Imagine if at that moment it was the Ozda's ballroom scene. I would have been on the floor.
Even we could have like flashed
Or the instrumental,
just like
the
their face.
instrumental of it played.
There is like the instrumental of For Good.
It's different
played
though. Oh,
in the Ozda's ballroom. I think like so like it's already kind of like been called, but I think if they had just like maybe flashed back to like, you know, a younger face for each of them for like a second,
because we have a lot of flashbacks in this movie, more than I thought we would, so it wouldn't have felt out of place to do something like that here.
You know what I'm thinking of? You know, in Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, you know, at the end of that season where they like go under the bed. I'm gonna cry now thinking about it. Where it's like the younger Queen Charlotte talking to like older like King George, and then like older King George talking, and then like younger King George talking to like older Queen Charlotte, and like they're seeing each other like as they were. Like, can we do something with that maybe?
Because
like,
then I
just
feel like
see them as they were.
Yes. Like then it would have like really hit for, you know, the movie that they say that they built up that whole big friendship in part one. Then I would have like then it would have felt earned to me. I was still like emotionally impacted by it, but I do agree with the general consensus that like For Good doesn't quite feel earned in this movie the same way that I think it does in the musical. But what I did love is, you know, like Galinda is watching her die, which is very like, that's not what happens in the musical. But in the musical it's different because, you know, like a sheet comes down and it's whatever, like it's just different. But it's a callback to when they first meet for the first time, and Galinda is looking at her through the little peephole to see like who she is, because that's all that she has in this door as well. And just there's like an interview with Jon Chu. This was not in the script. This was improv in the rehearsal room, and everybody was like sobbing, and they were like, put this in the movie. This is great. So that's how that happened. I think it's really good. She also gives her the Grimmery at this point. Galinda is now the owner of the Grimmery. Yeah. And does she take
They're talking
the
about
hat?
how like the studio wanted to cut like the door. She leaves the hat. Like they were talking about how like, the studio wanted to cut like the long door scene, but Jon Chu was like, no, this is the movie. Like the movie is about like their relationship, like their friendship.
Is it, John? Because
well,
it only felt about it in that moment.
that's you know what they're saying. I think like it is correct to leave that door scene in, obviously. Yeah. Especially, you know, for people, like for the audience, like not that it should always be fan service, but like that was, you know, certain moments, you know, should be. Like you should be serving. Not all the time, but like sometimes you should be serving.
Yeah, agreed.
Where like I got a little bit frustrated was, I was frustrated like at various points, was here. I felt like the movie took 15 minutes to end. Let's go. It's over. Okay? I don't need to see like Glinda's like redemption arc right now. I think we got it.
Right.
We're
talking to Morble, sending the wizard off, like all that. You're saying,
yes, yes. Like I understand,
but that
but
to me
time,
is like putting
it's
putting in too much of the Wizard of Oz story. Like we didn't need that. We all know.
Like I actually don't care how Dorothy gets home. Well, they didn't even show that, but like
they showed the hot air balloon, right?
They showed the hot air balloon. That's how the wizard gets home. Dorothy clicks her heels 3 times.
Right. Yeah, my other question, which again, we never discussed this. We never discussed in the musical either. But like, do Fiyero and Bach know that the other person is like here?
Who knows?
Also, why is the lion suddenly okay with Fiyero there? Is it because he's just like a scarecrow that he doesn't know that this was the man that captured him?
Fiyero is the one that took you out of the cage, sir.
What did they say? Cub-napped?
Cub-napped.
Dumb.
Cub-napped. Yeah, like we're doing, you know, Galinda's now going on her whole redemption arc.
Well, we see the beginning of the first movie again in this scene. And I don't mind that element because but then we also have that really long moment when she puts the scepter down, which is again to show that she doesn't have any true magic.
She's not like faking it anymore.
Yes, and like to be good, you don't have to use magic, and all of the animals come back.
The Grimmery does open for Glinda at the end.
Okay, but why? Save that, because let's finish and then we'll get to that.
Let's get there.
But
let's get there.
So she does all of her like good things. We basically tell the story of Wicked again, and then Fiyero then knocks on the floor.
The trapdoor.
And she comes up. Sorry, Fiero's not the Scarecrow.
The audience like
gasping.
You see the Scarecrow for the first time here because they've like hidden him the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know that is it that obvious that it's him? Maybe not, but like whatever.
Okay, I actually do have a critique. I actually have another critique, and I wrote this down. So Fiyero, Jonathan Bailey's wearing like a blue contact for the whole movie, except for when he shows up as the Scarecrow, he has his natural brown eyes.
Well, because
like, he's not wearing the
Scarecrows
contacts
can't
anymore.
have blue eyes, Steph. It's pretty obvious.
I was just confused. I was like, shouldn't the one thing that remains the same be his eyes? Like when you look into him, shouldn't like everything else has changed, but his eyes are the same, except they're not. They're a different color.
Yeah, that's true. I really didn't think about that. I wasn't looking at...
No, I'd forgotten. I was like, I'd seen like an interview with Jonathan Bailey talking about, you'll see why I'm wearing these contacts, it's important later. And I'm like, this actually makes no sense to me whatsoever. He should have, like, his eyes should stay the same.
Yes. But maybe that's part of the fact that she can't read the spells because she doesn't study.
Like, girl, you were such a good student.
Yeah, you're so true. And she's like an even better student when it is about someone that she loves, but she couldn't even save his eye color? Like, damn. Anyway.
Yeah, I just didn't understand this, like, costuming choice here.
Right. So then they, like, see each other and they go on their plan, which is to go beyond Oz and straight into the Dune universe and walk across. I know, I was like, is this Arrakis?
She's in like a chiffon hood.
Now she does like have this vision earlier in the movie of two people walking. We don't know that it's them until this moment. But and then it's also at this time when you're seeing Galinda like at her home and she's putting the Grimoire like in a spot and you hear voiceover of Elphaba say to Fiyero like, I wish she could know that we're alive, which is exactly what happens in the musical. The finale is not on this cast album, which is so annoying. But we basically sing like No One Warns the Wicked again, and then it kind of ends on like who can say the end of For Good. Anyway, that all gets us to the point of the Grimoire opens. What do you think that means?
I think this means Galinda has opened the Grimoire. I think the Grimoire has... I do think that the Grimoire has transferred to Galinda.
See, I think the Grimoire opening is Elphaba telling her that she's alive.
Okay, so like Ariana Grande said in an interview that Galinda does not know that Elphaba's alive.
Okay, like, and like this is also like that's Ariana Grande's opinion of this.
No, I know, but I don't think. I think no. I think like
because
I'd like to watch it again.
Like, looking like back.
I think they're just like thinking of each other, and this is what is so strong about being able to do this on stage. On stage, you have Galinda in the bubble, and you have Elphaba and Fiyero on stage at the same time. You, as an audience member, are able to like understand they're not actually together.
Yeah, is she holding the Grimoire in the bubble? I feel like she is.
Probably, I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
But like, and we as the audience understand they're not together, but we're able to watch them sing this together. Whereas on, in the movie they have to like cut back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I think
hideous like merged shot of the two of them, which I was like, this is bad editing, guys, but that's okay.
When it like fades through.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hated that.
Hate that. It's like we're on a PowerPoint presentation.
Exactly. Like, I have no problem with Galinda having the powers. I think as fan service was like, oh, this is the one thing to let her know that like the two people that she loves the most are still alive.
It could be. I always took it as like, Elphaba is gone, but like what I learned from her will like live on.
What did she learn from her? She can't even read the spells. Neither of them.
I know.
Neither of them can read the spells.
They're all like, what? I don't know. Yes, like, she's in possession of this thing that was like special to Elphaba. It's a good question. I think it's left open-ended intentionally.
Yeah, and I think
there
it's
was like
fine
a moment to a debate.
Do that. It did make me tear up again at the end, I will say.
No, I agree. It was, I was like, wow, they're going on their separate ways. They have to live apart. They're like soulmates.
So then is it going to be like Wicked Part 3, The Return of Galinda?
Getting the band back together, like...
Because everybody has been making the jokes online of like, oh my god, did you see that after the credit scene that Galinda, Dorothy, and Elphaba will return for the Avengers Doomsday? Like, please. Because That is kind of what this feels like. This was my main critique of the first movie, is that it feels too superhero movie-like.
Yeah, I agree.
wouldn't say that this one feels... I mean, the
There are,
opening
like,
the opening
that
10 minutes...
at the beginning.
Hated that. I guess you could... I maybe say that, like, No Good Deed feels a little superhero-y because she's flying all over the place and using her powers. Yeah, like, I don't think I expected to go beginning to end here of the movie, but I think it also helped me process my thoughts on this. I think our main critique all the way through, even though maybe we have a different opinion on what to focus on, is just that the focus needed to be, like, so narrowed. And for me, like, the heart of this story is the friendship, and I just feel like that friendship was lost in part 2. And for, you know, these two women in real life and on screen that have such, like, incredible chemistry together, it just feels like a loss to me.
Like, they didn't get to work together enough in this one, I feel.
You know what I was also thinking about? That scene when she runs up the stairs with the Grimmer. It was like, that's the first photo that was ever released.
I know.
Which
That's
is
what we saw.
insane that it was from part 2.
It's from part 2.
Yeah.
I know. I'm, like, looking at my, like, list of notes. Basically, we've covered everything that I was thinking of. Yeah, like, I want to see this again, is, like, what I come down to. This is definitely, like, first reactions, but I just want to see it maybe one more time. When they do the sing-along version,
yeah,
I'm ready.
It's just interesting.
I want to
like,
sing Girl in the Bubble.
Last year, we saw this. Then we went to the Eras tour. And then I immediately returned to see it with my mom because, like, she's a huge fan of Wicked. And I literally was like, I think you can watch this at home. Like, sorry,
like part
but
2?
Yes.
Part 2?
I don't think this is, like, for us, like, not that, like, going to a movie is whatever, but, like, to me, this doesn't need the same cinematic experience as part 1 needed, in my personal opinion.
No, I'm with you. I think I still would like to go back to the theater again because...
Yeah. We'll wait for the
I want to be able to, like,
I can't see this 3 times
with the sing-along. No. Well, I mean, that's up to you. But, you know...
Like, my Cineclub can only
in,
take me so far.
Pencil in the sing-along.
Yeah,
okay?
which is going to be on
Let's
Boxing
go to
Day,
the
so
sing-along.
see you there.
See you there. Pencil in the sing-along here. Yes, I really feel like I need to watch it one more time because the first time is so hard.
Sorry, we didn't even talk about...
everything.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you stand by everything.
I think I'll stand by everything we said, even after I see it for the second time.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll feel fondly, like, more fond of it.
We didn't even mention that in that time that Fiyero and Elphaba leave and when Glinda's on her, like, redemption arc is when we find out that the wizard is Elphaba's father, which again is just like a little...
Oh, yeah.
It's very, like, throwaway to me. And I don't know,
we
for
see, like,
some
a
reason
de-aged
it felt
Jeff
like
Goldblum.
so bad that someone was like, did the budget on CGI run out, like, for the end of this movie? Because what was that?
I saw, like, the person who played that, like, posted on TikTok, basically, like, was, like, Jeff Goldblum's dance double throughout the whole movie, I think, but then also played, like, young Jeff Goldblum. And they, like, did his face a little.
Yeah, I just felt like it was a throwaway. And I know it kind of is in the musical too, but it felt a little less in the musical. I think just because it's, like, happening live in front of you and they really bring out that green bottle, like, many times. Again, also, like, you have that pre-existing knowledge from Act 1 that happened 15 minutes ago instead of, like, Act 2... Or sorry, part 2 happening
so, like, you really
a
need to be, like,
year
reminded
later.
of it.
Yes, and the only time that you're reminded of it is, like, when he finds out, but then he doesn't really have, like, a great reaction. I forgot that Elphaba never finds that information out. But it's basically a line from Glinda that's like, she was a child of both worlds. Whatever.
Right. That's why she was so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's that, I guess.
I was gonna say we don't normally rate movies, but we both talked about the fact that this is a 4 at this moment for me.
I know. Yeah, I think I'll give it 4. That sounds so harsh. 4
like,
out of 10.
Yeah.
Mechanical bubbles.
Sure.
Like we learned the backstory of the bubble in this movie, like how Glinda moves by bubble.
Yes, we do. Which was...
Did I ask for that? Not really.
No,
but
it's a little
sure.
too, like, silly. There's just, like, too many things that were a little too silly for me in this movie. That was one of them. Morbles falling into the cake was so unnecessary. The lion's entire existence is too silly for this movie. Like, as long as you're mine, too silly for this movie. There's so many things. Like, I don't know. I would be curious to watch both movies in succession to see if I felt differently.
I agree on that.
Maybe they'll do a double sing-along. I doubt it, but maybe they'll do a double sing-along.
I don't know if I can commit 5 hours of my life to that, to be honest.
What's the break in between? Is it like 20 minutes or is it like an hour?
I heard it was like 13 minutes.
That's it? I have my
to go
family
pee.
and my brothers and I did do, we did do the Dark Knight trilogy back to back to back. That was very fun.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like about like 10 minutes in between the movies, except we actually like iconically didn't stay in the theater of the trilogy for The Dark Knight Rises because we went to the IMAX instead. This all happened at your home movie theater.
My home movie, Colossus.
Because they were playing the other movies on a smaller screen, but we wanted to see The Dark Knight Rises in IMAX, so we bought like 2 sets of tickets. It was like,
wow.
It's fun. But that's the thing, like, that's a superhero movie, so it feels the same. It's just like weird. I don't know.
No, I know.
And
I know.
all this to say, like, I actually don't know what I even wanted out of this at all.
I know, it's hard. It's really hard. I think they had a really hard task here. Like, I don't take it lightly how difficult what they had to do.
And
here
also,
was.
like, to their credit, like, this is, what year are we in on this that they started this process? It's been like 5 or 6 years at this point that we began casting and shooting
maybe
and
like
reshoots
2000,
and
like 22
editing, like
end of 2021, 22, something like that.
It's been a long time, so like everyone's kind of like lived with this forever. I just, it's always such a hard task to take such a beloved property and turn it into a new medium. So
I'm gonna have one more thing. Where was Bowen Yang? Like, where was Bowen Yang?
Yeah, like criminally underwritten along with the choreography.
Fanny
and
was
Shen
Fanny?
had
Fanny
one
and
moment.
Shen.
They cut that whole scene that I would have assumed was a choreography scene.
It looked like a choreo, but where was it? Where was it supposed to be? What song was it even? Was it in the opening, maybe? Glenda's like outfit that's on the poster is just like not in the movie.
I know, I saw a TikTok from like an extra that was like, was in this movie, guys, but now I'm not because I cut this entire scene.
Honestly, and the way Bowen was all over that press tour and has 3 lines in this movie. He does choreography at the beginning. Dear God, Linda, you are just...
Yeah.
And he's like, she's so good. She's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. Ask me next year what I think about... Also, like, crazy to think that this is over now.
This is it.
We've been, like, teasing and talking about this over the course of the last few years of this podcast, and now it's over.
Change for...
Like, what new merch am I going to have? I have a new Squishmallow. I got this when I was in New York, the Dunkin' Donuts little...
Oh, I was going to ask if you got the Dunkin' Donuts Munchkin container.
This is not official Wicked merch, but Anthropology had, Halloween merch that looked like this, and also the Galinda cup that is over there. But I have nothing else to get now. I don't think the collections were as good. Where was Aries' collection this year?
I know. I think if I want anything, what do I have? I have nothing really. I have the popcorn tin. I saw a really good popcorn tin actually that had like the Tin Man, the Scarecrow. I know I have like my Glinda one. But I saw a really good popcorn tin that had like Tin Man, Scarecrow. And I wonder if the other sides were like
lion. Oh, I think I saw it also, yeah.
I thought that was really good.
That was nice.
But yeah. I think a pair of pajamas is truly what's missing for me. That's the only thing I would really want.
Well, Aerie had nice ones last year, but they really sold out so quick. So it was hard.
They sold out so fast and like never went on sale. And started
they were like
$55 a piece.
$55. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, it was like $100 for that set. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They had like kids Wicked pajamas at Target, but they only had small sizes. But they were actually really cute. So if they had bigger sizes, I probably would have bought. Yeah, I can't believe it's over. Like, I really just can't believe that we've spent so much time on this, and I feel the way that I feel, so it is what it is. You know what, I guess we should we be thanking Jon Chu for this? We probably should. Thank you, Jon Chu and Mark Platt, for putting this together.
The thing about it is this was in development like hell for years, and then Jon Chu signed on, and when Jon Chu signed on, I said, this is happening.
No, I know.
That man makes things happen. Like, he is a person of action. I don't know if we would have ever gotten this with another director. Like, I think it's really difficult to adapt material.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a lot of people would, get partway into the development process and then quit or give up or say, you know what, I don't know if this is working. And Jon Chu, held the course.
Do you
think brought his team of people.
Do you think, the next course of action is that they're going to do a remake of The Wizard of Oz? Because I do think that that's on its way. But I think they should not.
Interesting. I think that's, really well-loved. I know people love to make well-loved things. But the thing with The Wizard of Oz is, as, wonderful as it is, if you watch it back, it's so boring. Not boring. Boring's not the right word. But,
I don't agree.
and boring's not the right word, but, it's, very...
It's dated, for sure.
Slow-paced and,
But think of what they did, 86
No, I
years
know.
ago.
It's crazy.
insane.
And that's part of why it works so well. But if we have to hear these people sing like the same song 3 times.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, and like walk through the forest for 45 minutes, they wouldn't do that.
It is such a like loved movie that to touch it at this time, I feel like it's unnecessary. Anyway, I could go on and on about The Wizard of Oz all day, but that's it. That is Wicked as a whole. Wicked for Good. What a stupid name also.
Wicked. Boom.
Do you have an obsession? I never even asked you.
I do.
Okay, great.
I do have an obsession.
So that's our thoughts on Wicked, and now it's time for our obsession of the week.
My obsession of the week is, if you know me, I was recently on a plane.
Oh, I know.
And when you're on a plane, I love to watch movies on a plane. And on my flight there, I watched 5 movies. And the first movie that I watched was a musical that came out last year. And I watched Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic.
Oh my God,
Robbie Williams is played...
You talked about this previously because you wanted to see this in theaters and then we never did.
I did, and then I never did. And I watched it on the plane, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's iconic. It's so good. It's like a really good movie.
Wow. It got really good reviews.
Yes, so it's directed by Michael Gracie, who did The Greatest Showman.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, LOL. But
what do you mean? That movie's iconic too in its own way.
It is iconic in its own way. I think what, like, a strong point of it is the way that the musical numbers are shot in this movie is so good. It's so much fun. Like, it's very dynamic. Like, specifically, like, the rock DJ sequence where, you know, the band, like, Take That is, like, you know, together really for the first time. They're in the streets of London doing this choreography. It's so good. I think, like, what this movie was famous for is that Robbie Williams is a singer, he's alive, is portrayed as a monkey in this whole movie. So it's everyone else is human and he is just like a monkey. It just like going through life and like talking and wearing the outfits, and you kind of get over it so quickly, and it just works so well, and it kind of breaks the like reality of it, so that when you're entering into, because they do like a lot of like fantasy sequence moments, and you're already kind of like broken through the realism, and it works really, really well.
Wasn't the reason to like not distract the audience with Robbie Williams
Yes.
himself? Like that was the whole goal.
Yes, like you're not so worried about, does this guy look like Robbie Williams? Is this like a good impression of Robbie Williams? And it also kind of like adds the effect of like, oh, he feels like, you know, a dancing monkey in front of these people performing for everyone. Like he almost feels like subhuman in some ways that people like treat him, or like what people are expecting of him. I think it works really, really well. And I don't know if you're like, not everyone is familiar with Robbie Williams, like here in North America.
Yeah,
like
very basic
I'm fairly
knowledge.
familiar with him.
Yeah.
Like not most, but like, let's say I knew like half the songs in the movie and I didn't know, let's say, the other half. But I thought it was really, really good, really, really effective. Just like great musical sequences. I was on the plane like sobbing at the end. Like
But I will say like the musical sequences in The Greatest Showman are also really great. So that doesn't really
like
surprise me.
Really well shot. And I think this is like the strongest part of this movie is like the way the musical sequences are shot. There's a scene at the end, like to spoil, where Robbie is like playing the biggest concert of his life, and he comes out and he starts singing like "Let Me Entertain You," and he looks out into the audience and he sees, you know, different versions of himself over the years. So you can see, because it's like the monkey, and he's like wearing like different outfits from different parts of, you know, his like career, and then it kind of like descends into this like huge like fight scene where he's like fighting himself.
Did
like,
Robbie
all
Williams
the different...
see this movie? Do we know?
He does the narration.
Oh, he does. Okay.
He himself does the narration. So someone else is like playing him in like mocap.
Yeah.
But Robbie Williams himself is doing the narration as himself. And I also think like, I think at the end he ends up looking good, but like I don't think it's like that vain of him, because like, you know, he's like cheating on his fiance, he's like doing drugs, like, you know, he's in rehab at one point. Like I think, you know, it is a heroic journey for him, but I don't think he's so vain in it. Anyway, I think it's good. I would highly recommend Better Man. I watch lots of movies, actually. I would also shout out Sinners, which has like really great music in it as well. Like uses music really, really effectively. also. But like for like a musical, a bio musical, Better Man is really good.
I mean, this was the thing too that like we didn't even touch on in this, but like obviously those 2 songs for this movie for Wicked were written in hopes of an Oscar nomination and for no other reason.
Yes.
I do think this is like K-pop Demon Hunters to lose at this point.
Yes.
But
I agree.
That was the reason that we think at least that, you know, there was 2 additional songs added to this. Both
like they didn't put one in
worthy.
In part 1, but yeah, I don't feel strongly about either of these songs at all. And yeah, I think K-pop Demon Hunters has been having such a year.
Yeah.
Like, and these are like not just like good songs in a movie, but they're like hits.
This reminded me because someone I saw the other day wrote an article about like potential original songs, and I think there is an original song in Sinners that they said would get nominated as well.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it was on the list of, you know, the long list.
Yeah, a lot of the music in Sinners is kind of like traditional music, if you will, like historical music that exists already. But yes, there definitely is an original song. No, I think Sinners is great also. And again, like uses music and like it's kind of a story almost about like the power of music in a way, or like the way that music, I don't know, but anyway, Sinners also really great and really great musical sequences. There's like an iconic scene in the middle. I don't even want to like give it away.
I haven't seen it. I will watch it eventually. Yeah.
But yes, highly recommend Sinners as well. But my obsession this week is Better Man.
Great.
Tara, what's your obsession?
Okay, my obsession this week, I recently was in New York and I saw 7 shows. And one of them that I saw was off Broadway. And this is Beau, the musical. Now, while I wasn't 100% obsessed with this musical as a whole, I do want to talk about, which I think is like literally, we should mark this down as like maybe the thesis statement of our podcast this year, is the importance of a cast recording. We've talked about this on every episode for the last like
Always.
5 to 6 episodes specifically. But they put out a world premiere recording in 2019, actually. This like show has been around for like quite a long time, and it's currently playing off Broadway. I can't remember off the top of my head, and my playbill is not by me, what theater it's playing at, but it is playing until January at this point. It's been extended, and the way that I got tickets was through the Today Tix Rush, I believe. I don't think it was the lottery. But don't quote me on this, but I do think that this is the case. But the Today Tix Rush tickets, they're $39, and I do believe they are all the bar stool seatings right at the front of the stage. So you are basically kind of like in the show.
Oh, you were at the bar stool seating?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like right in the show. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. Did you get a drink?
No, I didn't. No, but they did have like there's when you walk into the theater, there's like a little like makeshift bar, which feels very similar to like all of the very small theaters here in Toronto. But then when you go into like the room, there's an actual like bar in the theater. They've kind of like, I would say, I wouldn't quite, well, I guess it is immersive theater because they are like moving around. There was a locker that was slammed like directly behind my head that made me jump at one moment because I didn't see her coming. But they're like jumping on the bar. They're like doing all of these different things. But yeah, it's like, it's a good story. My main critique on this is that like the music is by far the best part of this show, but it feels like stop-start song a lot instead of just like, you know, flows all the way through. All this to say, my obsession this week is the song Runnin' from Beau. Matt Roden, who we are familiar with from Playbill, who used to host all these like really fun,
or like Broadway.com
or
something,
both.
like,
I think it's both.
Yeah,
he does something now too, like bloggy. I'm not sure what website it is on, but
I've seen him on TikTok.
Yeah,
like, he's on TikTok.
He's working, but he used to host these like really fun, like multiple
like
actors from different shows in the studio, like playing these games. Anyway,
yes.
Do you remember those? Yeah. Like,
yes,
those
I do.
Really
now
fun.
I do.
I loved those videos. It's been like a long time since we've seen something like that. But all this to say, like, I was not familiar with his vocal game because, my God, that man can sing. Like, he is so talented. And this is a really fun, like, indie rock score. I think you would really enjoy this because I feel like the music is like really right up your alley. My main critique of this is not enough Jed Brown in this musical, and he's the title character.
And you know we love Jed Brown.
Like, he sings one song. Like, what are we doing? You're putting the man in the musical,
but he is the titular Beau.
Yes.
Is he not?
He is, but it's just like about like this character that Matt Roden plays, like, didn't know his dad, and he's growing up and he's discovering his sexuality, and then he finds out that like his grandfather is a part of his life. They like reconnect. His grandfather's beau. They have this whole thing, and then like spoiler, he dies at the end. So he kind of like has this whole like, you know, life through death moment with this man that he only knew for a few years. It's very like, there are moments that are very touching, but as a whole, I don't know, it's hard when like your musical relies so heavily, I think, on the live music element, but it's so stop-start with the scripting. So my main critique is not enough music in this like 90-minute musical. But all that to say, it was a very easy for me rush ticket to get. I was also getting a single ticket at that point, but I do think it is like fairly easy to get a rush ticket for this. Otherwise, it's not like that expensive. There's different tiers of seating. You can sit like at the tables. There's also like seating off to the side. There's bar stool seating. There's kind of a lot of like places that you can sit and watch the show. But yeah, this song is really good, and I think it's like fun. This was the first time in a long time that I saw a few off-Broadway things, and I think we've talked about this before, but like it's fun to, if you can, if there's not a lot that you're super interested in playing on Broadway, but like to expand into the off-Broadway world, because there's like really cool things happening not on Broadway as well.
Do you think this is going to go anywhere else? No. Okay.
I just, like, to move it into a bigger house, they would need to, you know, transform a theater, which every time we seem to transform a theater, it feels like it fails, and it's a waste of money at the end of the day. But I don't think that this is, like, I think it's good where it's at. I also think, again, another thesis statement of this year is Broadway doesn't have to be the be-all, end-all, you know?
No, for sure.
So, and this feels, like, quite small and intimate to me, and I think it should stay that way, because that's why I think a lot of people are, like, really enjoying it, is because it feels so intimate. So, yeah. That's my obsession this week. I guess that's the end of our Wicked journey.
That's a wrap.
Our next episode is really exciting because we are talking to two people about a show that we love a lot.
We recorded it like 2 hours ago.
And that one is coming out after this one, even though we recorded that one first. Anyway, you'll know more about it, and we'll be so obnoxious about it on social media until that show leaves Toronto. So get ready for that. And then after that is our final episode of the year. Like, what's happening? We're done. It's over.
I know.
Can't believe it. Gotta start looking at that list of everything we saw this year, because, like, I don't remember a lot of it. I know. We saw so many shows in New York in April, and like that feels like it was 3 years ago. You know, like we've seen a lot this year.
I know.
So we only have a few more episodes left. Oh yeah, but it's so funny because like within the time before we do that, we're seeing like a lot of theater as well. So we have a lot of theater coming up. We have like 3 episodes left for this year. And yeah, that's that. And then we're heading into, I don't even know, what is this, our 7th year of this podcast? Is it? Crazy.
Yeah. So
we're still here. Whether you like it or not, we're still here.
Still here.
But yeah, so there's lots to look forward to coming up. But if you do want to go back and listen to any of our other episodes, including Wicked Part 1, you can do that by subscribing to our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, and don't forget to leave us a comment.
And you can follow us on Instagram at Off2Bway Podcast with the number 2, and on TikTok at Off2Broadway.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.